I mean, I was talking the other day in class about how I had planted this pin oak tree in my family's yard when I was a child. And I went back all these many years, and the tree is like huge, just enormous. And I remember going up to that tree and just hugging it because, I had got it out of the forest, out of the field next to our house where there was a bunch of trees. And I planted it was like an inch in diameter. It was a small little thing. And just to see that kind of growth and that kind of stability as it stays in one place. I've always been interested in plants since I was a little kid. I mean, it was always something that I really enjoyed. I grew them when I was a little kid, and I had a garden at my parents' house where I grew lots of things. And I can remember as a kid looking. I had my bedroom was on the second floor, and I would look down in the summer. I would look down on the garden when I woke up, and I just couldn't wait to get into the garden to start working. So I really had a real connection to plants at an early age. And I think that's true with a lot of people in their careers. It's what did they like when they were a kid, and they try to continue that perhaps. So I've been here. This is my 12th year teaching at the Institute of American Indian Arts, and I really enjoy teaching ethnobotany of the Southwest. I really like taking students out into the field. I mean, it's funny. When I was an undergraduate, I remember a professor of mine said, he says, I was walking on campus today and a student came up to me and said, where's the botany lab? And I said to him, the whole world's a botany lab. I learned all kinds of ways in which plants are important to people's lives, that were not necessarily important to me as a child. But it's there's such a direct relationship between my indigenous students and their knowledge of plants. That's the great thing about plants is that they learn to adapt to where they are. So it's sort of taught me lessons about here I am right now. Let's figure out how can I live right here? How can I become a better person? How can I be in this environment and not damage it very much? That's kind of what the big picture of what plants have taught me. I mean, it's interesting because when I have a good class, I just sort of float home because it's just, I think it's well, maybe I'm over dramatizing it, but it's just a magical experience when you can just see it on the student's face whether they got excited about something or they were to learn something or they were to ask me questions. I mean, that's why I really like give and take in a class. I really try to get students to ask me questions. It's not always easy, but it just seeing an awakening on their faces about something they hadn't thought about plant wise, for instance, or life wise. I mean, I mean, all the best teachers I've ever had have not just taught me plants, but they taught me parts of life. They taught me different things about life. And that's what I try to hope to do. That's what I try to do in my classes is just talk to students and give them advice on things and it's stories. I give them stories about my life, about people I've known, and I try to get them to talk about their life stories. So it's a way in which communication happens pretty effortlessly if it works out.